back to the channel. My name is Gonzii and today we are going to be reacting to another casual geographic video, man. This time called Rabbits Aren't As Cute As You Think. I hope you had a phenomenal weekend, and without further ado, let's go, man. Let's react to this thing. Let's go.
Someone said if I could ruin rabbits, they would get me to 100K on Instagram, so now y'all gotta feel pain. Sometimes as soon as the rabbit babies are born, the father will murk the entire family just so he can mate with the mother as soon as possible. The female isn't much better because if the birthing process was too stressful for a first-time mother, she'll eat her children. If she's afraid, she'll eat her children. If it's too noisy, she'll eat her children.
Wow.
Inexperienced mothers sometimes get confused and, you guessed it, eat their children.
Damn.
Rabbit teeth never stop growing, and this is what could happen if they can't wear them down, to the point where you have to cut them with nail clippers. Bugs Bunny is a fraud because if you feed your rabbit nothing but carrots, it'll die of malnutrition because wild rabbits don't even eat carrots. They're too high in carbohydrates, so it'd basically be like feeding a toddler nothing but candy. But you want to know what rabbits actually eat? Rabbits are physically required to eat their own poop, and they do it to make sure they get all the nutrients they can out of one meal, and it's called coprophagia. Once baby rabbits turn 10 days old, they'll start eating their mother's forbidden Hershey Kisses directly from the source. You heard what I said. Sometimes when a rabbit sees a dead body of another rabbit, it'll get confused, so its first natural response is to Cosby the corpse with no hesitation or regret.
Cosby the corpse.
Look at him go. Someone on Instagram asked me what animal is actually mean as hell, but nobody realizes it, and this is the first animal I thought of. If y'all learn anything, it's that anteaters are not your friend. We're talking about an animal that'll straight up swing on jaguars and sometimes win. First of all, giant anteaters can be more than 7 feet long and weigh almost 100 pounds. Giant anteaters have terrible vision, which is why they have something I like to call rhinoceros syndrome. Because they're legally blind, they treat everything around them as a threat. If this murderous vacuum cleaner even detects motion, they'll choose violence. And you want to know why scientists nickname it the ant bear? It's because those claws are good for digging up food and digging out graves. Those claws are so sharp that even jaguars would think twice about attacking them because one swipe can cause life-threatening injuries. Giant anteaters have been known to severely maul zookeepers, and one even killed a hunter after severing one of his arteries, causing him to bleed to death. To be fair, it was a hunter, so you know, you roll the dice, sometimes you take an L. So yeah, anteaters are way meaner and aggressive than you think. But anteaters don't have phones, Wi-Fi, or even thumbs, so they're a Hall of Fame menace to society.
They are.
At least the babies are cute. Here's every animal lie you believed as a kid in 60 seconds. Bats aren't blind, they actually have better eyesight than people, and if we had bat vision, we probably would have seen COVID coming. Bulls don't hate the color red, it's the motion of the cape that makes them charge, and they use the color red to hide the bull's blood because they abuse and torture it to make it more aggressive. Ostriches don't bury their heads in the sand when afraid. When they do this, they're actually rotating the eggs of their underground nest to make sure one side doesn't get too much heat. And let's be honest, any animal that can run 43 miles per hour and also kill a lion but chooses to do this would have got respectfully clapped to extinction. Dogs don't see in black and white, they can see color, it's just less color than we see, which is probably why they're not racist. Period blood does not attract sharks. Sharks can actually sniff out the chemicals in the blood to decide whether it's food or not, and a woman on the rag isn't part of its diet plan. Frogs and toads can't give you warts, only people with HPV do. You still shouldn't touch one though because the oils and chemicals on your skin can hurt theirs, so really we're the problem here. If you touch a baby bird, the mother isn't going to reject it because it smells like human, because honestly she would have no way of knowing. Most birds have a poor sense of smell. You still shouldn't touch them because if the mother bird sees you and thinks the nest isn't safe anymore, she'll dip and you basically just killed the baby bird with even more animal lies that you actually believed in 60 seconds. Wild rabbits don't eat carrots, and since they're high in carbohydrates, feeding your bunny nothing but carrots is like feeding a child nothing but candy for every meal, which is why you should only give it to them in small amounts. You can't give every cat a bowl of milk since most cats are actually lactose intolerant, especially the adults. If a lactose intolerant cat drinks milk, it can cause diarrhea, vomiting, and all kinds of nastiness. Turkeys aren't dumb enough to look up during a rainstorm and drown. That myth actually started because of a medical condition called tetanic tortical spasms, which causes turkeys to do weird things like stare at the sky for no reason. But no, they've never drowned by looking up during rain. Chameleons don't change colors to camouflage, they actually do the exact opposite. They use their powers as a mood ring to tell others how they feel. That way an angry chameleon can tell someone to F off without actually having to throw hands. Cheetahs don't run so fast that their brains overheat. They have to stop after 10 to 20 seconds because sprinting at 60 miles per hour takes up so much oxygen that they run out of air. Sloths don't mistake their arms for branches and fall to their death. I mean, think about how that sounds. They have a powerful grip and they're really careful about where they move, which is why they're more likely to die dropping a deuce on the ground than falling out of a tree. So I made a video where I said bears can be as fast as horses, and people were either completely shocked or they called cap. Since the only cap is the one on my head, grizzlies can reach speeds of 35 miles per hour, and even though a horse can outrun them in a race, the bear's quick initial burst means it could catch a horse over a short distance. You don't believe me? That is what a motivated brown bear looks like when it really wants to move, but the nonsense with bears doesn't stop here. They can also climb way faster than you think, and that is not a squirrel on PEDs, that is a bear running up a tree like goddamn Spider Bear. And if you happen to be Michael Phelps, you're not safe either. Most bears, especially polar bears, can swim faster than the best Olympic swimmers. Moral of this video, bears can outrun, outclimb, outswim, and probably outdrink you, and if one wants you off the census is really up for you. 16 reasons why axolotls are the weirdest thing you know nothing about. Because they're basically blind, they can accidentally cannibalize each other. It's called a Mexican walking fish, even though it's not a fish, it's an amphibian. They're found in one place in the world, in Lake Xochimilco in the Valley of Mexico. For some reason, they're able to hit maturity without reaching their adult form. Basically like a caterpillar hitting puberty without becoming a butterfly. This is technically its final form. You can activate it by injecting it with iodine. Because they need humans for this, they almost never grow up in the wild, like Peter Pan but as a feather frog. Those feathers are actually gills that help it get more oxygen. Sometimes they play dead for no reason at all. Its Peter Pan syndrome is called neotomy. It's one of the few animals on a planet that has it. They can regenerate almost any part of their body, including their organs, limbs, and even parts of their brain. They're also 1,000 times more resistant to cancer than mammals. And even though they're basically indestructible and cancer-proof, they're still somehow severely endangered. They're so bad at life that there's more alive as pets than there are in the wild. It's basically a tiger salamander that evolved backwards. They actually yawn just like people, but when they do it, it's to force more water through their gills to help them breathe better. They're not supposed to be white. The white ones are actually mutated. 18 reasons why platypus make no sense in 60 seconds.
They don't make sense,
It's a beaver with a duckbill with webbed feet that somehow lays eggs. They also produce milk, but somebody forgot to give them nipples, so they sweat milk through their armpits. They don't have teeth, so they use rocks to chew their food. They're the only mammal that doesn't have a stomach because they lost the genes for it. They're also the only mammals that use the power of electroreception, which is what sharks use to hunt. They can track their prey through their heartbeat because that duckbill can detect electrical impulses. Since they close their ears and eyes underwater, they swim blind and deaf. This is the nonsense they have under their skin. The male platypus is one of the few venomous mammals on the planet with a venomous spurt that they use to shoot the Fae with each other. Its venom is stronger than morphine, meaning if you get stung, you're gonna feel it for months. They glow in the dark because of course they do, and they're a bluish green under UV light, meaning they glow in the dark. Something we didn't. You know how we have 2 sex chromosomes? Well, these goose ferrets have 10. Since their name is derived from Greek language, the plural form for platypus is actually platypods, and I'm not okay with that. They poop, pee, and give life out of the same hole. Scientists found this so fascinating that they named their entire family after it. They have a 2-headed penis. They sleep more than sloths. They use their tail like camel humps. I'm going to make you like hyenas in 60 seconds.
I love hyenas.
They love their cubs so much that they'll lie to protect them. Hyenas have an alarm call meant to warn the clan of predators or intruders. But if she sees her cub being bullied by other hyenas, she'll make a false alarm call to distract the hyenas and protect her baby. They're way smarter than they get credit for. In experiments, hyenas were actually better than chimpanzees at cooperative problem-solving tests, and they were able to solve puzzles without even being trained for it. Striped hyenas are very trainable, and ancient Egyptians used them to hunt. Hyenas can form strong emotional attachments with people and will even show them affection. There was a Nigerian man that got so close to a group of hyenas that they would lead him to their den to show off their cubs to him like a proud parent. They don't even usually do that with each other. They're so good at hunting that lions actually steal from them more than they steal from lions. Hyenas also form friendships with each other, and they'll even seek out the friends of their friends in order to make more friends. They're amazing athletes that can run at 35 miles per hour for over 2 miles without getting tired. They try to kill each other when they're born, but the older they get, the more they care for and even defend each other. Somebody said I couldn't ruin ferrets, so I'm gonna make it your problem. This is what a hairless ferret looks like.
Oh my god.
Here's another naked ferret, but this time it looks like something that might just get me banned. Ferrets often fall into dead sleep, and since they can knock out for 18 hours, sometimes they get buried alive by owners that don't know any better because they really do look dead. If a female ferret doesn't get laid, she can straight up die because when she goes into heat, her body produces estrogen, which causes the bone marrow to stop producing red blood cells. So either she gets clapped by a male or by anemia. The other option isn't great either. Ferrets have a violent mating ritual that involves the male biting her neck and dragging her across the cage like she owes him money, to the point where the female might start screaming. This domestic violence actually stimulates ovulation, so the entire ferret community needs abuse to survive, which means the female's only options are to get ferret breezied or to die from not mating. The world record for longest time with a ferret in your pants is 5 hours 30 minutes.
Why? But why though?
Its Latin name is Mustela putorius furo, which means stinky weasel thief. Makes sense because ferrets will steal the most random objects, hide them, and then become weirdly attached to them. They'll go to war over a gym sock. 3 facts that will trigger me regardless of situation or context. I've made like 5 videos already, so at this point, if you tell me Megalodon is still somehow alive, I'm not even gonna argue with you. If you believe a 60-foot nuclear weapon with teeth is chilling at the bottom of a trench we've just never seen it, you can have that, bro. You only discovered 5% of that. Well, it's 20% now, and if that's your only point, your argument's more dead than the shark. And number 2, there are people, like intelligent people, that legitimately think a gorilla would not only beat but murk a grizzly bear. And honestly, you would have to be on DMT to think that. I'm not even gonna argue this. Y'all the same people that thought King Kong had a chance against an atomic flamethrower with armor. Only armor Kong had was plot armor, and not even that can make it believable. Understand that if a grizzly slapboxes a gorilla's neck, its head and body will be going through a divorce, and that face will be on the back of a milk carton. Number 3, when people tell me lion is the king of the jungle because of mentality. Ignoring the jungle part, if we're going off mentality, then this roid scum takes the crown. And going off matchups, nobody is messing with an elephant. Is this your king? Is this your king? Mentality means absolutely nothing to a buffalo. And any lion with autocratic audacity is getting folded 6 times by a hippo. Stay humble. Or you watch this video, Google where does vanilla flavoring come from, and then get back to me. Oh, you're back? Okay, let's talk about it. The truth is, yes, castoreum is a chemical that can be used in vanilla flavoring, and yes, it's produced in the same neighborhood as a beaver's anus.
Damn.
This brown slimy nastiness smells like vanilla because of the beaver's diet of bark and leaves, and they use it to mark their territory. They can also be milked for it to be put on your ice cream cone. But here's the thing, even though it can be used and the FDA actually approves it, it rarely is because it's so expensive and difficult to produce and sure as hell ain't kosher. And even though it's sometimes used for candles and perfumes, I can personally guarantee you've never accidentally tossed a beaver salad by licking an ice cream cone. Vanilla flavoring either comes from vanilla beans or it's synthetic. So you have absolutely nothing to worry about.
Let's go.
For vanilla. I just want you to remember that peanut butter can have 30 insect parts for every 100 grams, so remember that next time you have a sandwich.
So there you have it, guys. That was Casual Geographic just absolutely marking your life for certain animals and showing how much he loves hyenas, which me too. I love hyenas. Hyenas are one of the coolest animals in the whole animal kingdom, man. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching the video, man. If you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, before you go though, don't forget how it is on the channel, bro. Come on, man, keep up first as always. Drink water, go tell somebody who love them, and if you're here, you know what to do, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. My name is Gonzii, and see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.